Mic check, mic check. Hey guys, how are you all? Nice to see you. Just doing a quick mic check. So I've got my monitor on. When you see me staring down here weirdly at the floor, it means I'm looking at the monitor, which means I can see you guys. Much more interesting than anything else. Could someone just give me a little nod if you can hear me properly? Kirsty, I can just about see you. If you give me a thumbs up, is it? No watery sounds or Zoom distortions in the background. It's just a nice, clear, and good. Awesome. Checking everybody's mics are off. Hi, Louisa. Hi, Wyndham. Hi, Caroline. I think we've got some more booked in today. We've got 3 minutes left to go. Okay, we'll give them a little bit of time. Before we, I'll wait for them to come, otherwise it's cheating. I was going to share some of the secrets of the gravity yoga training course that I spent the last 13 days of my life almost completely engaged in. Well, I say last 13 days, I actually spent, I'm on 4 courses at the moment. The gravity yoga was a big one for 2 weeks, and there's another huge one that I finished on Sunday, did all my exams, and I've got 2 more that are sort of ongoing. So I'm trying to learn up during lockdown, expand the knowledge base a little bit. Who's come into the room? What have we got here? Hey Jazz, hi, how are you? Nice to see you.
Yeah, I'm fine. How are
I don't
you?
think we've met before. Welcome to our class. Sort of jabbering away really whilst we allow some of the other people who've booked to enter into the room.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe you'd like to listen to me. I don't know if you noticed, but I sent a new thing really. I'm sending out playlists so that if you wish to, you can drop in a playlist in the background. I find that any music here gets very garbled by the time it goes through the Zoom system. So from now on, I'll be sending out a playlist with the class link, and you can opt to either play that or not play that, or if you haven't got time, don't worry about it. Okay. And quite nice just listening to the inside of your body for the practice. Hey, Harry, how you doing? Good to see you. Can you hear me, Harry? Yes. Yes. All right, guys, so the time has just stepped over the 6:15 mark. We're ready to begin. Welcome to your first gravity yoga class with me. My name is Chris, if you don't already know me. One thing I'd like to position before we get started, a lot of you have asked me, what's the difference between yin and gravity? Surely it's pretty much the same. They're quite different, and I've spent time trying to reduce the number of words that I use to describe the difference. Put basically, the yin practice is a long, soft, gentle practice that goes into the ligaments. The gravity practice is a little bit shorter and harder, and it sits in the muscles. So gravity yoga is about lengthening and balancing the muscles. So it's quite active, it's quite challenging, and it can be quite tiring. Whereas yin yoga is much softer and gentler, and we have rebound poses in between the postures, and we rest a lot. Gravity yoga is quite strong, it's quite demanding, so be ready for that. There are 3 principles of gravity yoga, if I can count properly. Number 1, I need you to feel the pose, don't look at the pose. So it's how it feels on the inside, not how it looks from the outside. You can be quite sloppy in this. It's number 1, feel the pose. Number 2, let gravity take you deeper. So you're using this natural force that we have on this planet to take you deeper into the posture. So you can get a little stronger with the posture. And the 3rd principle is that you always extend your exhale. Now, the reason we extend the exhale, you probably know in the vinyasa practice, we inhale for 4 and exhale for 4. and balance breathe. But to exhale, you need to relax your diaphragm and it pushes the air out. When you contract, it pulls it down and sucks the air in. So relaxing your diaphragm pushes the air out. Put it another way, letting air out relaxes your body. It's a nervous system hack. So there are lots of stretch reflexes across the body, and that's used to protect the body. Primarily the heart and the groin will protect inwards. The breath is like a hack to the nervous system that lets us expand back out again. So we use these long exhales. It's actually a 4-to-8 ratio. We'll inhale for 4 and we'll exhale for 8. Now that's actually quite advanced. You may find you only get down to 6 or 7, you go to full 8. Just do as much as you can. So the third principle is extend your exhale. So we're going to start with some of this breathing practice. I'd like you to seal your lips and breathe only through your nose on the inhale. But then as you exhale, you can breathe out through your mouth. You may need to throttle how much air comes out, otherwise it comes out too fast. Making a shushing sound can really slow down the flow to get you that nice long exhale that relaxes and lengthens and balances the muscles. So we'll give it a try. We'll do 3 rounds of 4-8 breath, where you'll be inhaling for 4 through your nose and exhaling for 8 out through your mouth. You won't hear me breathing because I'll be counting, but I'd like you to rehearse this now. See if you can breathe all the way out for 8 seconds. All the way out. That's your job. Breathe all the way out. So gently let the air leave your lungs and inhale with me for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale 8, 7, 6 through the mouth. 5, 4, 3, 2. Keep going. 1. Good. Inhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Keep going. 2, 1. Inhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the mouth. 8, 7, 6. Keep going. 5, 4. I know it's hard. 3. Keep going. 2, 1. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth, making the shushing sound. Good. I'd like you to cultivate this breath so it becomes the foundation for your gravity practice. You're extending the exhale. If you find it hard to exhale for 8, just try and make sure through all the postures that your exhale is longer than your inhale. So it could be 3, 6, it could be 2, 4, it could be 1, 2, whatever it happens to be, just to make the exhale longer. Good. We're going to warm up with some moon squats so that we can warm up the major muscles in the body and articulate all the bigger joints. So I need you to come to just a standing position to start with. Separate your feet a little bit wider than hips distance and turn your feet out by about 11 or 12%. And then bend your knees, bend your hips, and cross your hands in front of your hips until you can touch the floor. And then inhale, just reach up towards the skies. You'll be trying to reach something, and then exhale, come into a nice squat. Inhale, come all the way up. So we're going to do 20 of these. Sounds like quite a lot. Good, you're breathing in, that's 3, exhaling to squat. Inhaling again, that's 4, exhaling to squat. Good, keep going. Inhale, 5. Remember, we're trying to warm up the muscles. I'm going to stretch those in a minute. 6. Keep the breath going. 7. Good. 8. We're activating the muscles, articulating the joints, like we're lubricating the body, he says, as he loses count. So that's about 10. We've got about 10 left. So there we go. 10. Nice. Keep going. You're doing really well. 9. 8. I told you it's more challenging than yin. 7. Good. 6. Try not to cut any corners. 5. Always touch the ground. 4. Always reach high. Good. Last 3 coming up, or maybe you've got an extra one to balance back in. 2. Good. And 1. Come all the way back down. And just take a little rest. Allow your head to flop forward. Maybe get a little roll left and right. And gently come back to your breath. So this is the miracle hips sequence. There are other sequences, but focus on low back, focus on hamstrings. But today we're focusing on the big muscle groups that guide the hips. So the target is always the hips. And we're going to start by opening up through the posterior chain using a posture called handstand. Don't worry, we're not going to do a handstand, but we are going to stand on our hands. I'm going to rotate through 90 degrees so you can see it clearly, but I'd like you to gently come into a forward fold with your knees bent, and then place your hands on the floor and step your feet onto your thumb and forefinger gently. Once you've got this, gently straighten out through your legs. So the palms are pressing down into the ground, and your feet are securing your palms onto the floor. So this is a challenge, but don't worry, we're only here for 2 minutes. We're only here for 2 minutes. So see if you can straighten out your legs as much as you comfortably can. And if you want to make this a little easier, you can turn your hands upside down. It's a yoga pose called gorilla pose, and stand on the palms of your hands and then straighten out your legs. That's a little easier. Or you can press the palms down into the ground and anchor them with the toes. That's a little harder. Or if you need to soften a little bit more and find yourself bending your knees, just straighten your legs as much as you can and then stay with that long exhale. Now, if you need a little encouragement for this, you can begin to lift your toes a little higher. This protects the hands and also starts to engage through the quadricep muscles, the big muscles at the front of your legs, which will soften through the back of your legs. If that sounds too complex and you're thinking, what's he talking about? Lift your kneecaps and then come a little deeper into your pose. So we've got just under a minute left in this pose. You'll probably feel the stretch through your hamstrings, calves, low back, middle back. So it's not a gentle stretch. We're really looking to actually stretch and balance the muscles. The affirmation for this posture, for this practice, is may this practice lengthen and balance your muscles. May this practice lengthen and balance your muscles. So we're staying in the muscles and we're stretching them, giving ourselves that beautiful flexibility. This is a flexibility training. Good. A couple of more breaths in this pose. We've nearly hit our 2-minute mark. Should be getting a nice stretch through the posterior chain. And rather than taking a rebound pose, which we do in the in practice, we're going to come into a reset pose. It's an active posture. So release your hands, bend your knees, and start coming into camel pose. So you're just going to stand onto your knees, draw your belly in, lift your heart up. Coming into a camel pose, maybe you can rest your hands onto your heels as you lift your heart and your chest high and draw your belly in. Good. Arch up and out through your heart, energetically coming into a beautiful back bend. And then softly come into a child's pose. Feel the stretch just for a moment. And then come back up into your camel's pose once more. Remember to draw your belly in and lift your heart high and reach your hands back. This is a little bit like when you go to the gym. There might be a 50 kg dumbbell on the rack. Doesn't mean to say you have to pick it up. You can pick up the 10 kg or the 2 kg, whatever's appropriate for you. So don't try too hard if it feels dangerous, but don't give up too easily either. This is a challenging practice. Come back into your child's pose. So we focused on opening up through the posterior chain. And in a moment, we're going to come to the front of the hips. So just stretch out through your heart, the front of your ankles. And return to your breathing. Remember, long exhales. 4-8 ratio if you can keep that going. But long, soft, relaxing exhales through the mouth. I can't breathe with you because the Zoom technology doesn't really like picking up breathing patterns. Good, so I need you to, should have really asked you to do this before, have a bit of wall handy, a little bit of wall space handy. So come on out of your child's pose. And we're coming straight into a pose called jackknife blaster. You can tell the originator of this practice is from California. For Jackknife Blaster, I need to have a wall behind you. So I might lose you from the camera for a moment. That's okay. Or maybe you can take the camera with you. It's another 2-minute pose. And you'll see me sliding my left knee into the crease between the floor and the wall with my foot straight up the wall. So my shin's pressing into the wall. Good. Then step your right foot forward. Remember, don't pick up the 50 kg if they're too heavy. Just pick up what's right for you. And then come on up. Now, you might want to rest on your hands, or you might want to come all the way up and interlace your fingers and push down on your right knee. So this is a targeted stretch into the front of your left hip. Miracle hips. It's no surprise we're in the hips. Good. So we're here for a 2-minute hold. Now, I can't see all of you on the screen. I think most of you have got this. You're using a wall to intensify this stretch. We're only here for 2 minutes, so don't worry too much. I'm going to use the opportunity of being right here by my little stand to light my joystick. You might use the opportunity to make sure your exhale is longer than your inhale. Make sure you're breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And then let gravity do the work. So if you can let gravity draw your hips down towards the ground, you'll get a deeper stretch for your left hip flexors. Now, I said this was challenging. It's not easy. You may even find that tomorrow you have some muscle soreness. Entirely normal. But what we're doing is targeting the muscles to stretch the muscles. Gives us this fluidity. Tight hips are quite common in the West. You ever watch people getting into a car? It's interesting. Some of them will open the door and sort of stick their bum in and then sort of sit on the seat with their legs on the outside and then hike their legs onto the inside. That's because they've started to lose the functionality of their hips. They're finding it challenging. Sometimes you see people sitting onto a chair. They go sort of like from the standing position to a couple of degrees and then drop down. And when they get out, they sit up, push their hands on the edge of the chair, rock forward. It's because the functional mobility in their hips has been worn down over the years. I've got about 20 seconds left in this pose. You can let gravity draw your hips a little closer to the ground and focus on your breath. Remember, it doesn't matter what it looks like. What matters is how it feels in the target area. All right, we've arrived. So I'd like you to come straight back into your mats, into a downward facing dog, and inhale your left foot to the sky. Exhale, draw your left knee into your chest, energetically press it forward, and then come into a fallen triangle. So shoot your left foot out to the right side of your body and inhale your right hand up towards the sky. Stay strong through all of your limbs and energize through your hips. Lift your hips a little higher if you can. Good. Strong, 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 strong. Breath is long. Nice. The right hand can come back down to the ground. Come back into your three-legged dog, and then slowly, softly, float your left leg to the ground, downward facing dog. Let your breath leave your body long and slow. And then use this inhale to come to a high plank. And we'll just reset through the whole body. Think of your body a bit like a plank, a wooden plank, long, strong, push down into the ground, lift up through the shoulder blades. And try not to let your midriff sink. Keep it all tight, wooden plank. Couple more breaths. Good, and gently coming to the other side. So I'm going to switch sides so you can see me easily, but slide your right knee this time into the little crease between the wall and the floor. Step your left foot forward. Now you might be picking up the 2-kilogram weight and keeping yourself nice and low. You might be able to come up a little higher, press that right knee back, maybe come all the way up and interlace your fingers. You might find it easier to push your hips back towards the wall. But what I'd like you to do is engage through gravity. Hello, Caroline, if you've just come in. I can't see. If you can switch your camera on, that'd be really good. Allow gravity to draw your right hip down towards the ground. Good, and stretch through the right hip flexor this time. Opening up through those big muscles. Imagine your hip, the front, the top part of your leg, where your leg comes into your torso, the trunk. Every time you sit down, those very big muscles gently just shorten and shorten and shorten, because you don't need them, you're not using them for anything. When they shorten, they get tighter. And tight hip flexors, tight hip muscles, pull the hip down. So you get what's called an anterior tilt through the hip, because the muscles are too short to allow you to stand in good posture. So we use this targeted stretch to open through those big muscles and allow them to balance again. It's not supposed to be easy. If you're feeling a big stretch through your hip flexor, smile. If you feel a sharp pain in any joint, that's the time to stop. If you feel a gentle ache in your muscles, that's the time to smile. Smile. Ah, Caroline, we can see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So you've got around about 30 seconds left in this beautifully named posture, Jackknife Blaster, before we come into our reset pose, which is fallen triangle on the other side, and plank. Our little watchful bars in just a second. Not long to go, yogis. You're doing really well. Stretch that hip flexor. Nice, so we've arrived. Gently come on out. Find your downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up towards the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, draw your right knee into your chest, tiger curl, and then step your right foot through, fallen triangle. Inhale, left hand to the sky and lift up through your hips. My teacher in Australia often used to say to us, what would happen just on the other side of where you normally give up? Which gave us a little bit more impetus. I found out recently, I think that's a quote from Jack Cranfield, similar to something he says in Chicken Soup for the Mind. Soul, sorry. Bring your left hand down, take your right foot straight back up, three-legged dog. Then exhale, come down to your downward facing dog. Take a breath in, long, slow exhale. Then breathe in to come up to your plank to reset. Body's like a wooden plank, strong through the shoulders. Don't take the opportunity to dump your shoulders. Lift your shoulder blades a little higher, lift your belly in. Good. And then gently, gently, gently bring your body all the way to the ground. Our next pose will open up through the anterior line. So we use that handstand posture, so we're up through the posterior line. This time we're going to come into Sphinx and or Seal. So Sphinx looks like this. You'll create a nice giant 11 in front of you with your forearms on the ground. Yeah. And then you'll lift your heart and press your heart forward. And as you do so, you'll stretch out through the front line of your body. Notice if your glutes are switched on. That's your bum cheeks. If they are, switch them off. Let them go soft. The inner line of your legs, let it go soft. Good. And stretch out the front side of your body. You're also, and gravity yoga is a systems-based yoga, so there's overlaps with the other sequences, but you'll also be opening up now through your thoracic spine, giving you better access to back bends, which we will do later in this sequence, but only as a reset. Now, if you're finding this nice and easy, you can come from Sphinx all the way up into Seal pose by widening your arms a little and then straightening your elbows, widening your hands, forgive me, and straightening your elbows. And this will bring you deeper into the posture and increase the stretch. through the front line of your body as you allow gravity to draw your belly and hips into the ground, but lift up through your heart space and lengthen your exhale. Maybe give yourself a little smile. Remember, this should be challenging. Sharp pain in the joints? No, 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 no. Aching in the muscles? Oh, yes. Yes, please. It's only a 2-minute pose. I can't see my watch right now, but it will buzz at me when we arrive. I'm guessing that's about another 30 seconds. Just focus on your breath. Let gravity take you deeper. Yeah, remember, it doesn't matter what it looks like. It matters how it feels inside. I'm just going to check my watch wasn't stopped by the... it's just buzzed, just as I checked. There you go. So gently come out of here and come into dolphin pose to reset. Come into dolphin pose to reset. So that's a little bit like downward facing dog, but your elbows are on the floor. Yeah, and you'll probably feel a little bit of energetic movement through the low back. Let this go. Nice. And then walk your feet in just a little bit and push your shoulders away from the ground and draw your belly in and lengthen your exhale. So it's quite an energetic posture. Strengthening through the muscles. In a moment, we're going to fire up the glutes before stretching them. So our next stretch is a glute stretch. And I'll talk you through it. It's called half pigeon, but we'll examine it a bit more. From here, come into a downward facing dog. Yeah, and then inhale your left leg all the way up towards the sky, 3-legged dog, and hold it there. And just feel the left glute, that's your bum cheek, the muscles in your bum, firing. So if you have a little look to me, you can cheat, you can rotate your hips and take the strain through your right thigh. I'd like to bring your hips so that your hips are neutral. So you've got to lift that left leg using your left bum cheek muscle. So you're firing up that muscle, switching it on, right? And then we're going to stretch it. So take a breath in here, hips are neutral, and exhale, draw your knee into your chest and step your left foot between your hands and soften your right knee onto the ground. Soften your right knee onto the ground and then walk your left foot to your right wrist and melt your left knee behind your left hand. Remember, joint pain, no. Muscle pain, big smile. That's progress. Inhale your heart high. You might want to float your hands up too. Get a big stretch. And then exhale to walk your hands forward. We're going to hold in half pigeon for 2 minutes. So rest your forehead down, maybe onto the ground, maybe onto your fists. Now in this pose, your left leg should be laterally rotated outwards. So you're opening up through your left hip. You're stretching the glutes in your left butt cheek. So those big muscles there get a nice stretch. And you've also got your right hip in full extension. So there's a gentle opening. Should feel gentle now because of the work we've done. There's a gentle opening through your right hip. All you got to do is focus on your longer exhale. Maybe you can inhale for 4 and exhale all the way out for 8. And let gravity open up your muscles, lengthening, balancing. Alrighty, yogis, we've arrived. I'd like you to gently come on up and step straight back into your downward facing dog. Give yourself a little wriggle, maybe wiggle out your legs slightly, and then straight on up. Lift the right leg up into the sky, three-legged dog, and activate through your right hip. So I'm going to come out of the pose and just have a little look at what you guys are good at doing. So I need you to make sure your pelvis is nice and neutral. So if your right hip is lifted, you're cheating a little. You're using your left leg, your left thigh too much. I need you to drop your pelvis so that your pelvis is neutral. And then lift that right leg beautifully high and push your right heel straight up. Like there's a lightning bolt going through your body, Jazz. Jazz, if you could also press your palms a little deeper into your mat. So there's no air between your palms and the floor. You're activating through your right glute muscle. Good. With your breath cycle, I'd like you to wait for your next full 4 inhale, and then exhale to draw your right knee into your chest for a tiger curl. Yeah, and bring it all the way forward. Don't step it forward yet. Lift, bit soon, Kirsty, I'm watching. Lift your shoulder blades a little higher and see if you can bring your right knee towards your lips and give your right knee a little kiss. You're going to contract in through the whole of your core to do this. And then step your right foot between your hands and set up for half pigeon. Walk that right foot towards the left wrist. Good. Right knee behind the right wrist. Inhale, lift your chest. Maybe your hand up towards the sky. Lift it up, lift it up. So your right knee is on the floor, Harry. Your right knee is on the floor and your right foot is by your left wrist. Jazz, same with you. Your right knee is on the floor. Right knee is on the floor. So your right knee is, yeah. There you go. And then bring your right foot towards your left wrist, Jazz. Everybody inhale up high, then exhale to walk forward into your half pigeon. So we're stretching through the right glute muscle. This is a 2-minute hold. Using a very strict timer here, making sure you guys are looking and feeling right. Of course, how you look doesn't matter to you. I need you to feel the stretch in your right butt cheek. Yeah, you've got a nice long, straight left leg, and you can press the top of your left foot down into the mat. Maybe you'll readjust your right shin slightly to get a deeper stretch in your right bum cheek. And then you'll let gravity do the work. Jazz, you don't look quite sure there. Don't worry about it too much. Don't worry about how it looks. Instead, focus on how it feels. And I need you to feel the stretch in the right bum cheek. Soraya, I just noticed you've joined the room. Welcome, welcome. You can switch to camera off those. I can't actually see you. Lovely picture of you somewhere in some mountains. It looks like a dreamy, faraway place. Lots of blue skies and green foliage. The eye can see for miles and miles and miles across hilltops, mountains. It looks beautiful. Of course, I'd rather see you. Last 15 seconds in this posture, guys. Make it count. Good, so we have arrived. I'd like you to inhale, walk your hands back, lift your heart high, tuck your left foot, exhale, downward facing dog. Notice any movement of energy through your body. Bend out your right knee, bend out your left leg. Nice, and then inhale, come forward into a plank position, nice and strong through the whole of your body. Your shoulder blades press towards the sky. Your palms pressing towards the earth, and your body is long and strong and neutral and straight and powerful, right? All the muscles engaged. Breath, long, exhale. Good on you. So we've had a nice stretch This last posture, move through the glutes, the back of the hips. Now we're going to come to the adductors. Those are the muscles inside the hips, so the groin muscles, using a pose called frog. So gently, I'll use my space here carefully, come to a kneeling position, like this, and then walk your knees nice and wide. Walk your knees nice and wide. So the target area is the inner groin, the adductor muscles. So the abductor muscles move the legs outwards, adductor muscles move the legs inwards, so it's the inner hip we're targeting with this posture. So move your knees as far as you can comfortably take them and see if you can get your shins to be parallel and your hips to be in line with your knees. Don't worry about it too much. Like I say, it's how it feels. It's the inner groin you're looking to stretch. Then walk forward and lean down onto your elbows, maybe onto your chest, whatever's comfortable. I like to come into my elbows. And we're going to be here for 2 minutes. Now, I need you to let gravity draw your hips towards the ground. And the only way you're going to open is by relaxing your nervous system. So like I said earlier, the nervous system will predominantly protect your heart space for your life energy. And it will also protect your groin for your procreation ability. So there's a lot of stretch reflexes preventing this stretch from going deep. So I need you to use your exhale to tell the nervous system to let go. So you can stretch those inner groin muscles on the inside of your hips. Couple more breaths, maybe half a breath here. We've got 8 seconds left in the pose. As you deepen in with gravity. And we have arrived. I'd like you to move slowly out of this one. Frog can be a little bit intense. So gently walk out of it. We're going to reset, so don't spend too much time relaxing. Going to reset using a reverse tabletop. So come to sit onto your bum, press your feet into the ground and press your hands into the ground underneath your shoulders. Take a breath in and then exhale to lift your hips high and drop your head back. Good. Try not to dump into your shoulders. Lift your heart high, lift your hips high. Nice. Take a breath in, long, 4 seconds, and then exhale slowly. Drop your hips and straighten your legs and see if you can keep your bum off the floor. Keep your bum off the floor. Nice. So you're just holding yourself up with your hands. Then come on back into your reverse tabletop. Lift the hips, lift the heart, drop the head. Now, if the head isn't comfortable on the neck, you can engage through the neck muscles to keep it comfortable. But lift your hips, lift your heart. You've got this, and I'm watching. Good on you. Gently come on out, sit your bum on the floor, and just put your legs on the floor and give yourself a little shake. And we're about to come into our peak pose for the sequence, which is quite a strong pose. I've chosen it because it's one of my nemesis poses. I've rarely been able to do it, but I'm working on it. I'd like you to work on it. Now, it will look different for all of us, so I need you again, focus on what it looks like. What it feels like, not what it looks like. So it's called double pigeon or box pose. Some of you may know it. I need you to bring your left shin in line with your front edge of your mat or the side of your mat. So just bend your left shin so it's in line. Now your leg will want to draw the foot inwards towards your groin because it's more comfortable. Don't do that. Bring your shin in line with the front edge of your mat. or the side edge of your mat, depending on where you're sitting. So don't let your left heel come in too much, because that will cheat the pose. And then place your right foot on your left knee. Place your right foot on your left knee. Now you can see, with me, I can't get into this pose. My knee's up in the air. Some people, like my wife, both her knees flop down straight onto the floor. It's easy for her. But I need you to find this position. We're going to hold it. And obviously, it's a lateral rotation of both hips outwards. So pretty much bringing mobility into everything. Now, if it's comfortable, I'd like you to rest your elbows on your knees and begin to lean forward a little bit. So you're putting a bit of pressure. But remember, don't pick up the 50 kg dumbbells if the 2 kg dumbbells are right for you. It might be the case that you're leaning all the way back and both your knees are up and you're just struggling with this. Just find a point where you can't bear it anymore. Shouldn't be too easy. In the yin practice, we come to about 35–40% of the stretch. In gravity, we're looking for 80–85. We really are stretching the muscles, but we're only here for 2 minutes, so we're not going to go into the ligaments. Very interesting, different schools of thought between the gravity gods and the yin gods. I call them gods, they're just teachers. It's wonderful to know and understand both practices. Differences are clear. This is targeted flexibility training, and it should be used as a supplement to sports, other types of yoga. Sitting too much. It should never be used as the only form of exercise you get then. It's a supplement. Gravity yoga is always going to be a supplement to improve the range that we have for the rest of our functional life and also our sporting and exercise life. What's the timer saying? How much time do we have left in the pose? 21 seconds. 21 seconds. Now, if you're finding this tough, it is the peak pose. Don't worry about it. The muscles are aching, don't worry about it. If the joints, any sharp pains, yeah, then you got to worry about it. Don't let that happen. Good, so we've arrived at 2 minutes. We're going to come straight into plank to reset, and we'll take box on the other side. So come into plank to reset. Strong through the whole of your body. Lift your shoulder blades, draw your belly in, press your heels away, lengthen through the crown of your head and smile. You're doing all this beautiful work for your body, you should be smiling. If you're wondering how long we stay here for, don't just hang out for a bit. This is an isometric contraction through the whole of your core. It's like building strength in your belly, building strength through your spine, your shoulders, your arms, your legs, everything gets strong and powerful. So smile is good. And then gently, easily come on out, and we'll set up for box pose on the other side. So sit yourself back down on your bum and place your right shin in front of you. Remember, that right heel is going to want to come in towards your groin. It's easier that way. Don't do it. Try and keep the right shin pretty much in line with your front edge of your mat. And then, yeah, go ahead. Place your left foot up on your right knee, and you may be different on this side. It could be easier, it could be harder. It's harder for me because my body is asymmetric. Yeah, wouldn't it be weird if it wasn't? Good. Now that we've all arrived, we'll be here for 2 minutes. 3 principles. Feel it. Don't worry about what it looks like. Number 2, let gravity take you deeper. Number 3, extend your exhale. Maybe you rest your arms on your left knee and your left ankle. A bit more weight, a bit more gravity. Some of you looking like it's so easy. Some of you look like you feel a bit more like me. Wherever you are, Let gravity take you deeper. My teacher, my gravity teacher, would always say to me, don't tell your students how much time is left. Don't tell them how much time is left. Well, I'm telling you there's about 50 seconds left. The reason being, I think when you know where you are, it's easier to be where you are. Feel the pose from the inside. Don't look at it. Feel it. And if you're really feeling it, it is a peak pose. We're nearly there, guys. About 5 seconds left. You're doing really well. Awesome. We'll reset in plank pose. So straighten out through your body, lift through the crown of your head. Push your shoulder blades a little higher, press your palms a little deeper. Feel your breath. Good. Come into a child's pose and take a little stretch through the ankles and heart space. Don't stay here too long. Come back into your plank pose. And then use your next exhale to come into a downward facing dog. Yeah, follow your own breath and then come back in. As you breathe in, come back to your plank pose. Body is fully active, isometric contraction and a smile at how much good you're doing. And then use your breath to come into child's pose again. So we'll do that one more time and then we'll come into the next posture. So come into your plank pose, feel the energy through your body, and then use an exhale to come into your downward facing dog. Nice big stretch through the hammies. Good, and then come all the way back to your plank. Use the posture, and then find your child's. Our next pose is named in the gravity practice flamenco. Has several names in the rest of the practices, but I'll call it flamenco. I'd like to lie onto your back. Now for this one, I'd like you to imagine that your arms and your legs are made like lampposts, so they're super straight. Straight legs, straight arms. As straight legs as you can get, as straight arms as you can get. And we're going to open up through the inner and outer hips. First on the left leg, then on the right leg. So lie onto your back and bring your left leg up into the sky. So right leg super straight, left leg is super straight. You might have to wiggle off the camera a little bit here. And take your left hand and use it to pull your left foot all the way down towards the ground. So your left leg is straight, your left arm is straight, your right leg is straight, your right arm can reach all the way to the other side. So you're like a giant cross. Straight right leg, straight left leg, straight left arm, straight right arm, and you're getting this really beautiful lateral opening through the hips, and you're allowing gravity just to melt your right shoulder down onto the ground. We're here for 2 minutes again, and we're letting the whole of the hip joint open up. It should be a little bit easier now. We've done so much work on it already. You may even be able to relax into this pose. If you notice your right knee bending a bit, press out through your right heel and draw your right toes towards your hips. Just straighten up through your legs, straighten up through your arms. Smile. Stay a little active. If your feet have gone floppy, I'd like you to just draw your toes in towards your hips. So you're long through your legs. Yeah. Around about 50 seconds left in this pose. Open through your hips, soften down into the ground. The reason we do this pose towards the end of the sequence is because it is quite relaxing. It gives us a chance to absorb all the work we've done. As we gently get ready for the tail end of the practice, which is always a relaxation at the end. We always do the resting pose or shavasana so that we can absorb what we've done. Good. Inhale your left leg back up towards the sky. So try and keep that left leg straight, right leg straight. Left arm can go on the floor this time. Take your right hand and get a hold of your left calf. Use it to draw your left leg all the way over. I'm just about to roll onto my mic pack, so if I lose sound, that's because of crushing my mic pack. So it might be better if I come out of the pose, come see how you guys are doing. Nice, really nice. All of you focusing on long, straight legs and arms. Maybe you can melt those shoulders. I need to ask for just a little favor. If you guys can still hear me, could Wyndham wiggle his left ankle just slightly? I was going to say, is that your left ankle? Thank you. Nice. Good to know we're still connected. Hopefully that right arm is still guiding your left calf. It is a challenge, sure. Getting that beautiful opening all the way through the outer left hip. Gravity softening everything back down towards the ground, the muscles lengthening and balancing. Now these 4-8 breaths are pretty much trying to encourage you to take less than 4 breaths per minute. Slowing it down, extending the exhale, relaxing the body. It's a very direct way into what's called the parasympathetic nervous system. That's the part of you that's responsible for resting and digesting. Nearly there, guys. Good. Gently exit from your posture. So bring your left leg back up again, and then lying on your back, just bend your knees and press your feet onto the ground. It's like this. Give your heels a little tickle. We're getting set up for a bridge pose. So you're on your back, your knees are bent, your knees are about a fist apart, and you can tickle your own heels. Then bend your arms, so your arms are at 90 degrees, and the elbows can push the ground. You can be brought through your palms. Take a breath in and exhale, press your spine onto the floor as you exhale, and then inhale to lift your hips up into a bridge. All the way up, lift, 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 lift. So this is your reset pose. I want you to feel a big stretch through the front part of your body. Lift your heart high, lift your hips high, and press your elbows down. Push your shoulders down and use the elbows and shoulders pushing into the ground to get lift. Lift, lift. Nice. Good. Feel the length of your breath. I'm not counting for you anymore because I don't want to interrupt with your cadence, but I want you to be conscious of it. And use the next full breath. You'll count all the way through 4 for your own cadence. And then gently use the whole of the 8. Exhale to softly, gently come down towards the ground. And pop your left leg on the floor and press your right heel up towards the sky. And Grab your right calf or ankle with your right hand and send your left arm super wide, and then take your right leg wide, wide, wide. So you've got straight left leg, straight right leg, draw the toes in. Straight right arm is grabbing your right calf or ankle. Straight left arm is flat on the ground, shoulders are melting. Let me take a little look, see how you guys are doing. Awesome. Yeah, gravity. For those of you with cats, something about yoga, it's like a magnet to cats. They just want to find out. When I practice yoga at home, my cat, who only loves my wife, will come along and sit on the mat as if to say, this is where I belong. If you don't have a cat, that doesn't mean anything. I can see Terry walking around in somebody's living room, checking out mom and dad, doing the yoga. He looks happy enough. Doing really well, guys. Straight arms, straight legs. Something tells me that Kirsty's right arm could be a little bit straighter. Straight arm is a strong arm. About another full breath cycle left on this one. Still drawing the toes in, and then gently inhale your right leg straight back up to the sky. And grab your right calf with your left hand this time and send your right arm nice and wide. Take a breath in and exhale your right leg. It's a bit like a giant clock hand. It's going backwards in time, past 11 o'clock, past 10 o'clock, past 9:30, until your right foot can rest onto the ground. You got two strong, long legs and two straight arms. Try and resist the temptation to bend your left arm and reach as far down your right calf as you can. And then open up through your right hip flexor. Glutes get a little stretch. Maybe you can soften your right hip a little closer to the ground, let gravity take it there for you. If you can do that, you'll get a nice twist through the thoracic spine as well as part of the system. If your right hip is high because the muscles are short and tight, that's okay, it'll come. My teacher, Lucas, always says, you're fine, keep practicing, you'll get there. You're fine, keep practicing, you'll get there. Lucas, my head has fallen off. You're fine, keep practicing, you'll get there. Got about 2 more full breath cycles here. Beautiful. Letting that outer right hip open just a little more as you now gently come on out. And place both your feet onto the floor. We'll come back into a reset with bridge pose. So tickle your heels, push your soles of your feet deeper into the ground, bend your elbows, take a breath in, press your spine down as you exhale. Then inhale, lift your hips up towards the sky strong. Push down through your elbows, push down through your shoulders. Inhale your right knee to the sky, press your right heel up towards the sky, lift your hips a little higher. Yes, press your right leg straight up into the sky. Good, then bend your right knee and softly float your right foot back onto the ground. Get ready for the other side. Left knee lifts, left heel lifts, hips press higher, push down through the elbows and the shoulders. Strong through your core. Beautiful. Nice. Gently bend your left knee and then bring your left foot towards the ground. You're still in bridge pose, still there. And then gently exhale your hips down onto the ground. Well done. Nice. Draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug, a little squeeze. Now you can take a supine twist left and right if you wish. You've already been in a twist, so you don't really need it. And get ready to set up for your final resting pose. So just lay yourself on the ground and widen your ankles as wide as your mat. Rest your arms on the ground. Let them flop so your palms face upwards. And then we'll do 2 rounds of 4-8 breathing together. So let the breath naturally empty from your lungs, and then inhale with me for my count. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale all the way. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Keep going if you can. 2, 1. Well done. Inhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the mouth. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Breathe naturally through your nose. Calm breath. Relax down through your body. So shoulders, elbows, wrists, and all of the muscles in your arms. Down through your chest, relaxing the internal organs, softening through your belly. Relax your hips, your knees, and your ankles. Let go through the soles of your feet. Soften your neck. Relax your face. And rest. Gently bring your awareness back inside the room, right down through your body into your feet. Give your toes a little wiggle. And give your fingertips a little wiggle too. Maybe rotate through your wrists and your ankles. And then exhale, draw your knees into your chest one by one. Give them both a little squeeze. And then roll onto one side, any side that's comfortable for you. Let's take a little rest here. just to feel nice on the inside. And then when you're ready, push the ground away. Come on up. Take a seated pose, cross-legged. You may even already notice a little difference in your hips. Press your palms together and keep some space between your fingers, right? Press your palms together and bring your thumbs up towards your chest plate, as if you could connect into your own heart. Close your eyes, lift the crown of your head, soften your shoulders. Now I'm going to take a little gentle Om here in the studio. Usually the mic freaks out and cuts me out, but I'd encourage you to take your own Om. The beauty of the Om is that it signifies everything, beginning, middle, and end. Physically in your body, if you Om by breathing out through your mouth as you Om, all the way and empty your lungs, and then breathe in through your nose, you will breathe in a rich blend of nitric oxide made in your nose and clean air purified by your nose. So see if you can get all of this going. We'll take a breath in to prepare. Breathe in. And exhale to let go all the way out. Then breathing in through your Om, breathe all the way in through your nose. Gently bring your thumbs to your forehead, covering over the middle eye. And allow your awareness to sink deep inside your body. Be aware of the light just behind your navel, your true inner light, your spirit, your soul. And the light inside of me honors and acknowledges the light inside of you. Namaste, yogis. Well done, guys. Beautiful practice. Thank you very much for joining me in my first ever Gravity Yoga class. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to support the class, and if Mindbody sends you one of those little things saying, do you want to review the class, that would really help me. I think we've got 0 ratings on the class so far. If you haven't got time, don't worry about it. Just move on with your life. And if you come back to another Gravity Yoga class, I look forward to seeing you then. If you come back to any other class, I look forward to seeing you then. If you have any questions, please don't be shy. Text me, email me, or even send a little Purya Kujin onto our flat roof outside, and I will go and read it. Have a lovely evening, guys. See you soon.
Thank you.